So this is one of those ones that I have been debating about, even mentioning, but I can't seem to get it off my mind. It keeps playing around, and I think it's relevant. And to be honest, these ones are as much for musing out my process as they are for creating content for you to enjoy. And so that one is the true, authentic nature, and also stepping into your own power. So, and that's part of why I want to share it, because this is authentically me, you know. So I've been promising my wife we've been together 11 years, that we would be rich beyond wild measures. And I gave my word on that. And that hasn't happened. And she loves me regardless. She does. And she has been unbelievably, overwhelmingly supportive of everything I've done, regardless of that. And money doesn't define that. Like, she doesn't care if we're rich or not. And I'm blessed to have an incredible woman by my side like that. But on the flip side, I gave my word. And my word doesn't mean anything anymore. Because for 11 years I've been telling her this. That when we're rich, when we have this money, we will do these things. And why would she believe that? It's been 11 fucking years. But this comes back to the core tenet of 126 to greatness, to the chasing greatness world, that I'm not a man of my word. It's why I'm building that character again. It's why I'm doing these things, to be held accountable, that there is a zero choice mentality. That if I've said it, it is happening. It is done. End of story. And this is part of the shift for it, because I haven't been. I've been promising these things, as I said, for 11 years. And I fundamentally believe it too. Like, I know in my, I don't know, soul, in my heart, in my gut, that I am going to be unbelievably wealthy. And I don't know where that comes from, but that is a unequivocal fact in my life. It just hasn't happened yet. But in terms of keeping my word to my wife, in terms of doing the things that I said I would do, this is one of them. And this is part of it, that I think this is the beginning step of it. Not to make money for the sake of making money, but because when you authentically step into who you are and you stop hiding, because I've been trying to make money on things that aren't who I am, who don't align with me. So it's always stop start. It's always fighting against this thing, because yes, I'm good at making money. Yes, I'm good at what I do. Yes, I deliver incredible results, but it's still not who I am. I have to put on a mask. I have to put on a face and pretend to be someone I am not, to do those things. And I'm pulling off the mask now, and I'm authentically stepping into who I am. And I think with that, as I live more in tune with who I am as a man, more in tune with my own calling, with my muse, in alignment with the universe, that will flow. As I said, I have known probably since I was like 14 that I am destined for big things. And you can take that as you please. I know there are lots of people who are like, oh, that's just fanciful thinking. But no, I believe in the universe, and I believe in that we are called to these things, and that is my calling. But because I've been hiding from my calling, I've been running away from the things that speak to me because they are scary, and that's resistance. It's what resistance does. You know, if you haven't read The War of Art, or Turning Pro by Stephen Pressfield, read those books, and it explains that in just crystal clear clarity, why we do these things, why we have what's called a shadow career. And that's what I've been doing. It's in kind of like aligned with what my calling is, but it's not my calling. It's still in fitness and health and, creating better people. But that's not what I was meant to do. But I now am stepping authentically into that, because I know I can impact lives on a greater scale than just having six packs and just being skinnier and just being healthier and being fitter, into creating the man that you know you should be, stepping into that and impacting that on a greater scale. But I also know that I had to go through these things to get here. If I'd started this when I was 21, I wouldn't have been ready. Like, my skills as a trainer when I was 21 are nothing compared to what they are now, but that's not really even the point of what I'm doing. Training and the fitness and the body and the exercise is just a small component of what this is. This is about building you as a man, building you into the man you know you should be, to live an authentic life, to lead a life of greatness through happiness, through passion, through purpose, to have your purpose, your challenge, and your war, because it is your honor, your privilege, and your duty to do these things. This is what I was meant for. I had to go through that crucible. I had to go through these ups and downs. I had to learn, not only in myself, but through others, to get to this point to be able to teach this. But, I had two moments that really hit me right in the gut and really upset me deeply, to realize the impact of my choices have affected those around me so much. And those two were, one, my wife was telling me, she's like, oh, we're poor, but, we're kind of like, not really poor. Like, we don't go without, but we don't have lots. And I was like, we're not fucking poor. But I suppose on some perspectives, you could say we are. We still rent a house, like all this kind of stuff, but we are not fucking poor. Never. And I think there's a very big difference between broke and poor. Poor is a mindset. Poor is a status that you stay at forever. Broke is, I have no money at this point in time, but I will. And maybe we're broke. But even then, I don't fucking think we're broke. We live a pretty reasonable lifestyle and we make a lot more money than most. But it doesn't matter what I believe. That's what she believes. And that's a fucking problem. And that is a big fucking problem. It means I failed. I've let her down. Because if that's who she believes we are, that's an issue that I need to correct. And it starts with in here. It starts with being that man, authentically showing up every single fucking day and owning my shit, keeping my word to myself to start with, then to her, then to my children, then to all those around me. So that when I say something, there is zero doubt that it's happening. So I don't make these claims anymore. I don't say these things because I need to re-earn that trust that when I give my word, that's what is happening. But in here, I know for a fact that I'm going to deliver that. That's interesting. If I look inside within the next 12 months, I'm going to deliver that to her. How? Don't know yet. We'll find out. But I'm holding authentically in here to myself, to the man I know I am. And that's the power, because that lights me up. I'm like, there's a fucking fire. Like, that's that purpose. That's also purpose, challenge, war. That I have a purpose, that I am going to liberate my wife and we are going to have financial freedom to do whatever the fuck we want. That's a challenge to work out how that happens, because that is not the reality that we are currently living, and to build a new paradigm from that. And that's that war that I am going to have to go to war with myself, with that as a business, and to discover how I can facilitate that level of wealth. This is what it's all about. Because the other one she said was, as I said, I've been promising this for years. And tomorrow is Mother's Day. And I was like, well, what do you want? And she was like, I don't want anything. I made that abundantly clear. And I'm like, no, I'm still going to get you something because it's about teaching our kids. And I was like, well, I'm getting you what I want. And she's like, well, I don't have tickets to Fiji. And I was like, right. Okay, well, I'm working on that one. And she's like, oh, I know. So you've actually got me, tickets to Italy then. I was like, unfortunately not, but I am working on it. And she's like, I know, you've been working on it for years. And then she laughed it off and she's like, I'm kidding. And I'm like, yeah, but you're not. And that's okay. She didn't mean anything by it. Like, that wasn't to hurt me. It was just a funny. But there's truth in funnies. There's truth in telling jokes. And it hit me. And it hit me hard because while I have been hiding from the man I know I can be, the potential that I'm running away from, the destiny, the things that I have been called to do, the lives that I could impact and make a difference in this world from, while I've been hiding away from that because I'm scared of stepping into that I don't want to face down the resistance, I've been letting down one of the most important people in my life. And that is unacceptable behavior. And this is what I mean about when I talk about 126, when I talk about chasing greatness, when I talk about these kinds of principles, that this is bigger than you. This is about authentically being the man, the leader, the provider, the inspiration for your family, for your friends, for your kids, for those you lead, for those you work with, for all of that, to step into your own power and do these things. And while you are hiding away, while you are living in shadow lives or shadow careers, you are failing them. And that's harsh. And I understand that. But you're not going to change unless it's harsh. We don't change our lives, especially in a drastic way, to something that is categorically hard, that most people will tell you is impossible to do, unless you have a catalyst that is so big, that hurts so much, that is so much larger and important than yourself to make that change. If you don't have those catalysts, well, why would you? Why would you deliberately step into uncomfortableness? Why would you deliberately choose every day to do things that are hard, that are difficult, that you don't enjoy, for the literal sake of doing things that are hard and difficult? Why would you do that if there wasn't something bigger than you? You wouldn't. Like, even within that, having something bigger than you, there is a question in a normal society of that your sanity, because everybody else is like, well, I'm enjoying my fucking comfort. I'm enjoying doing the easy things, watching TV, sedating with social media, drugs, alcohol, junk food, all of the things. Just taking it easy, cruising through life. So you're going to be judged. So it's important that you have a reason that's bigger than you, because it's going to be lonely. You're going to do this alone for a while. And that's why I want to put this out there. I want to be part of that shares it with you, so that you're not fully alone. So that even if we don't connect personally, but you have something else to listen to, just to look at and go, I am doing this, and there are others out there doing this as well. But yeah, that was a really, really hard one, and a big wake-up call for me on what is the next stage. I already knew that I was going to close the gym. I already knew that I was moving away from what I've been doing for 11 years. It was time to truly, authentically step into myself. But not only that, I need to authentically step into a business that is me, 100% me, but is going to deliver wealth and freedom and the things that I know and promised others. And the only way to do that is to provide incredible value, to provide life-changing value, to do something authentically and truthfully, and to deliver results beyond measure. That is how you create wealth like that. When you deliver above and beyond for your customers, which is something I've always believed, but even more so now. Like, looking at this, I'm like, if I'm going to do this, it's not just, hey, I'm good and I deliver some wrongs. No, I want you to look at what I deliver for you and go, fuck, I ripped Lachlan off. Like, with what he gave me and what he delivered, my life is so much better that I ripped him off. It wasn't enough. I couldn't pay him enough to justify the results that have been delivered. That is where I'm at. That is what I'm going to do. Because when you take care of others, when you take care of your customers, your consumers, your clients, whatever it may be, like that, and they go, holy shit, like, what is that? What is this, what has just happened? You are going to make so much money because people will just flock to you. It is still the classic thing. If you have a great business and you deliver for people, you are going to make money. That is just unquestionably how it is going to work. And I have everything on my side here. I have everything I need. I am stepping into the man I need to be. I have a purpose of creating financial freedom for my wife. I have a challenge of starting a new business and replacing income and creating legitimate financial freedom in a brand new business. And I have a war. I have to go to war with every preconceived notion I've ever had about this, with the resistance that is waiting there for me, because that's what I've been hiding from. I have a war with myself, but I've been doing the work. I have been building the character, and I'm going to continue building that character every single day. Undeniable, relentless pursuit of this greatness, and I'm about to elevate this game. And I'll tell you all about it once I've done it, because I don't want to prerequisite it. I want to just do it, and then I want to show you. But it's coming. And this is all stemmed from doing this work, because I feel it now. I've got this fire and I'm like, I need more. I have not been pushing hard enough. Even within this, I have been settling it. And that's the fucking point of this. You get into this and you do this and you find this fire and you're like, no, how can I push more? How can I achieve more? That sedation, that weakness, that instant gratification, that doesn't fulfill me. It doesn't serve me. And I cannot continue down that path. How can I do more, be more, push more? This is the point of it. This is the point of 126 to Greatness, because you don't even know what's inside you, what's in here, until you start chipping away at all that softness, all that patheticness that society has built into you, to just stick in comfort, to just coast by, to not, rock the status quo. What it has done to you, you have to chip away at it. And the further you get into this process, the more you reveal of who you authentically are. And then you step further into it, and it builds and it builds and it builds. And it starts with the workouts. It starts with the zero choice mentality. It starts with getting uncomfortable. It starts with pushing yourself. And once you complete 126, then there's chasing greatness. And then after that, there's Greatness Club. If you keep pushing forward. And that's how you become the greatest version of you. That's how you uncover the man that you know you should be. So that is all I have for you today, guys. A little bit shorter than normal, but I had to get that off my chest, and I had to put it out there that there is something incredible coming that I am going to deliver. And part of that comes from blind faith. Part of that comes from knowing that I am doing the work, and part of that comes from knowing that I am authentically stepping into the man I am. I am stepping into the career and the decisions, the muse, the focus that I knew that I should have been doing all along, that I was hiding from. And now that I'm shedding this shadow career, this shadow life, I am stepping into that power, and I am going to live authentically in that and through that. There is nothing that I cannot do. And I invite you to come with me on that journey. Believe me or not, just come and watch and witness as I do this. So that's all I have for you. Until next time.